We cannot see the universe. I affirm that the universe is infinite, and unmeasurable. Charles Messier, who lived in 1730, catalogued over 100 of galaxies. The name is more proper, Messier's, after his name. He was the first who discovered this kind of objects. A group of stars, okay? So it's more appropriate to say Messier than the galaxy. Now, what they believed in 1700s, 1800s, that they are stars in our galaxy. So by the time Messier filmed this, he believed that these are stars and are in our galaxy. Who said first that these kind of objects are not stars and they are not in our galaxy? So what are these Messiers? These Messiers are stars. Only stars. Nobody proved right that these Messiers are not stars. Are stars. These galaxies are stars. They were trying since the ancient times before Christ and Ptolemy 117 after Christ was first that he tried to measure our galaxy. There were still methods. Even the planets were calculated mathematically in 1700s. They were exactly like in our days. So they were not this stupid. They tried to calculate even the distance to the stars. The stars were fixed. The planets were not. The planet means wandering star. So the planets are stars, but wandering, because the stars are fixed and they move in the fixed position, but the planets do not make that retrograde positions and this kind of things. Okay, so by the time the Messier, these were stars. These kind of objects were stars. And then who proved that this kind of objects are not stars? Who proved? These kind of objects are stars, like trees, like Christmas tree. So God was not obligated to put an individual star just to satisfy these imbecile physicians and astronomers. They looked in the from the old times. They look with the telescope at the sun. With some filters, you can see the sun from Earth. And they saw flares and things like this. Okay, so they supposed in their mind that the stars are exactly like our sun. And then after with this inundation of imagery from the science fiction movies, they said that the stars are identical with our sun. Nobody said that the stars must be identical with our sun. So this was their first mistake. The second mistake, by trying to explain the origin of elements, of atoms from the Mendeleev, they said two moments: exploding red stars that explode and create elements from Mendeleev, and at a Big Bang. they pretended that they knew how to explain from the energy, basic energy, the hydrogen. They don't know this, okay, but they pretended this. And the next step was that from this hydrogen, they they pretended that they knew how to make iron and gold. From the hydrogen, they pretended that they knew how they make uranium and other elements from Mendeleev, noble gases, metals and non-metals, carbon, hydrogen. From hydrogen, they pretended that they can make these elements. So they said that in the stars are produced. This was the original mistake, okay? So two mistakes to identify that the stars are like our sun, and they are not. You can look at the pictures. You see, Isaiah says, you have eyes and you do not see. You can look in the pictures. The stars do not look like our sun. They said before Hubble, they took the Hubble in space in 1990. But before that, they were programmed to understand in their head that the stars are congealed gases. Okay, we were programmed from sci-fi movies and from Laplace, that he presented in the front of Napoleon, that the stars are gases that they are gathering, and the starry planets are gases. Wrongly believed in his head somehow that the gravity does this, but the gravity do not congeal elements. If they are gathering together, they are gathering in the virtue of chemistry, not in the virtue of gravity. Gravity do not pull gases. Oxygen bonds with iron chemically. If a cloud of gas, of oxygen gas, encounters in space iron, they make iron oxygen, okay? Not in the virtue of gravity, but in the virtue of chemistry. In this way, you must eliminate this first mistake. The gases are not gathering gravitationally, but from chemical principle. So what they did wrong, they equated the sun with the stars before the Hubble pictures. Okay, before the Hubble pictures, they equated. From all the sci-fi movies, they show this. Messier, they were known in 1700s because Messier cataloged some of this kind of sky objects. He saw that they are not an individual point in space, okay? Like they knew since then that they are not an individual point. Magellan knew the clouds that were known, like Magellan clouds, okay, from the antiquity. They are observable with the naked eye, not only in the Milky Way belt, but in other region of the sky. So these kind of objects were new. Like this is one thing with many things, okay, with many this is a single object, like a Christmas tree, a single object with many lights. God was not, you were not obligated to make the stars individual stars, point by point by point by point, just to satisfy this imbecility of the astronomers in our present days. So in the past they knew that there were stars. They were wondering. They were wondering. There were beautiful stars. So we know they did not knew back then how to produce light like us in different ways. By did not knew only with oil and some and candles and things like this. But now we produce all the colors, and you are more stupid than the guys from that time, because they were wondering how beautiful the stars are. They will not have this problem in his head that there are galaxies. Okay, so now all these objects are stars. After 1919, they observed with Hubble this kind of different objects, but they were programmed already to believe that the star explode, but you forced all the Earth or the planet to believe in this bullshit of yours. You force everybody to learn things that they are not true. That are not true. You don't have any physics, any nothing to back up this kind of things. Okay, so what are the stars? The stars illuminate. The stars produce light. So how do you know that light is produced? Light is produced by electric processes and by fire. Okay, so you can excuse the backwards guy from the past that they believe that some gases, like Laplace said, that the stars are gases, because he was wondering what burns to produce light in space. But nowadays, when you see that we can produce lights of any color by process of electricity, why do you do not understand that the stars are electric? Okay, so they lied that the stars produced something that they do not produce, to relativize, to make relative the fact that the stars produce light. It is the most inefficient way to produce light, by the means of a bomb, of fusion, of an explosion. And the stars, they are not fused, they are not exploding, they make light. Okay, so okay, the light has an energy and a frequency, and a modulation on the wave of light. Okay, this is red color. You cannot make from infrared red. You are stupid. Light does not stretch. You are stupid. Okay, so you cannot produce from infrared red. If you have a sensor of the bank infrared, you absorb the light, infrared light, in an apparatus, and you absorb the energy of infrared, and you have some piece that produces red light, and you emit red light by capturing the energy of infrared. So the light do not stretch. Okay, do not stretch. Einstein says all the light phenomenon of light have 13,000 kilometers per second. And how can they differ? By frequency and energy. To maintain the same vector of of speed of 3,000 kilometers per second, you variate the frequency and the energy. So you cannot pass from an energy to another energy and a change frequency and oscillation. You are stupid. You are stupid, okay? You are stupid. The light does not stretch. all of these objects are stars, they are not explosion. So what are stars? The stars are from metal. So how far are are stars? You cannot see under a kilometer of water. You cannot see light under a kilometer of water. So if you affirm that the space is void, totally void, you cannot say that in 4 light years, where you say that the nearest star are, there is not equivalency of matter like a kilometer of ocean. The light is absorbed by a kilometer of ocean. You cannot see under the sea, and the sun is close to us, and you cannot see the sun under a kilometer under water. Okay, so if the stars will be like 1,000 years apart from us, how do you say, like stupid, you cannot equivalate a kilometer of water with matter in 1,000 kilometers to absorb the light. So the light do not stretch, the light is absorbed, you cannot see it, you cannot see it from the distance. Carl Sagan, where Voyager 2 was in space, they turned around the camera and filmed Earth, and was a speck. And you all about, you digress, you say all over the internet, you say that's how big is the universe. This is not the point. The point is that the distance the Voyager reached, and you barely see the sun, and like Earth is like a speck, and you believe that you can see a star from light years. Then you are stupid, you are stupid. If you go, you have pictures from Pluto, from Mars, from Venus, the light from the sun decreases like in the proportional manner. Okay, so you see the sun from the Earth like with a diameter, and the light decreases with a square function with a distance. Okay, decreases, the brightness decreases. So from Mars the sun appears smaller, from Jupiter appears smaller, from Uranus appears smaller, from Neptune appears smaller still, from Pluto appears smaller still. And how do you see from Voyager? Like a speck, the Earth. The sun similarly, the sun is bigger, like 10 pixels, but you did not reach even the boundaries of our solar system. So what I say is that the stars are near us. You lied that the light stretches, the light does not stretch. Okay, so before 1900s, there was a Deutschland guy from Deutschland, from Germany. Okay, he filmed the sun, and he observed that if you make from a prism the color of the sun, you obtain these holes in the spectrum. Okay, before 1900s. Okay, from our sun. So from a single picture, how far is the sun? How far is the sun from a single picture? You don't need to have a delta T1 and T2 to make a difference, a delta. You need two pictures to calculate the sun like this. Okay, so what are these are stars. These are stars. Okay, from the sci-fi movie you suppose that the stars are like our sun. They are not. The supernova do not exist, they are not exploding, that are real stars. Plus, they are known that not only the light bulbs function and emit light on Earth. We can produce light from many procedures. The light is produced in clouds, in thunder clouds, in lightning. Light is producing by electrical currents with gases. Light is produced in many different ways. Okay, so these stars look like clouds are stars. They are not explosions, supernovas. Okay, you fight with God and you said that the function of star is not to illuminate, to make light, to fuse matter, and this is false. Stars do not fuse matter. So how big are stars? Many stars are no much bigger than our moon. Although they are from metals, like exactly like our sun is from metal, from NASA spectrum, different forms of ions of iron, okay, ions of helium and carbon, because you need a difference of potential to produce light, a frequency, electric frequency, a difference of potential between two metals. So what are stars? Stars and how big they are? Many stars, millions of stars. They are not much bigger than our moon. They are from metal, at least two different metals. And they are electrocuted. Okay, two different metals, and they are electrocuted. These stars are put in the cloud of matter at the border of the galaxy. Our galaxy distance from our border of galaxy is 26 billion kilometers, plus minus something. I may be mistaken somewhere. Okay, 26 billion kilometers, and there are put the stars, millions of stars. They are not much bigger than our moon and are from metal. Now, if you light a candle in the darkness, the light does not light the entire chamber, only in the near vicinity of the candle. So you suppose that it is void, but it is not void. Okay, it is not void. It is not empty space. It is matter, unilluminated matter, like an ocean in the darkness at night. The ocean does not produce light. Okay, do not produce light.
Wait for it. This is what it looks like in the middle of the ocean at night.
So at a distance of 26 billion kilometers, there's matter, like a city film at night. There are black spots because the lights of the buildings do not illuminate the surroundings. Okay, so you suppose only in your heads that it is void, but it is not. Our galaxy is surrounded by a wall of matter. A wall of matter, and in that wall of matter the stars are put. Many of them, they are not much bigger than our moon, and they are from metal, millions, but from metal. We cannot see beyond our galaxy. Okay, we do not see beyond our galaxy. You made this switch. You named the messiers, which are stars, galaxies. You named our galaxy, and you named that some of this galaxy is the universe. But we cannot see the universe. We cannot see the universe. I affirm that the universe is infinite, and unmeasurable. But we cannot see beyond this wall of matter that surrounds our galaxy, and that you can call galaxies or the whole messiers are only stars, like a Christmas tree. We cannot see beyond our galaxy. Okay, we cannot see beyond our galaxy. Our galaxy is surrounded by a wall of matter. I hope that the James Webb Telescope will see this.